Yes, ma'am.
This has got trolley. Can you see this? It has got rollers. Can you observe the
Yes,
difference?
ma'am.
Okay. So what is happening over here? The effort is less. The force applied in this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. In verse 1 and 2, more force is applied to push. Whereas in 3, because of the roller, the effort is less, the force is less. But in all 1, 2, and 3, frictional force is there. What force is there, beta? Frictional force. Now, what is frictional force? The
Friction
force,
force.
the force at the bottom, see, with the ground. The force with the ground. You understood now? So this friction force is always
Yes, ma'am.
opposite to the push or the pull. And I think I taught you earlier that when you are riding a bicycle, your tire tube gets abraded, it becomes rough, sometimes it bursts due to the frictional force with the ground. Do you understand? Because it is
Yes,
rubbing with the
ma'am.
ground, isn't it? It is rubbing with the ground. You are moving ahead. The tire is moving ahead, but the friction force of the ground is at the opposite direction because it is opposing the force which you are applying by the pedaling of the cycle. When you pedal the cycle moves ahead, but the ground has a frictional force which is at the opposite direction. So if you're moving like this is friction force, FF. Sorry. If you're moving this direction, this is your pull or push, right? It's a forward direction. But the frictional force, that is FF, is always on the opposite direction. This what you have to remember. Any problem regarding this slide? Boys, did you understand? Hello,
Yes, ma'am.
all of you? All of you boys, did you understand this? The activity, what is this pull and push and the frictional force? Hello, do reply please. Boys, are you there? Now, what is friction? Please read. Please read, beta. Hello, please read. Boys, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Let's start reading, beta. What is friction? Start reading. What happened? When you start reading, then only I can explain better. Start reading. Can anyone else? Okay. And there's a network problem maybe because you're not able to. Friction is a force which acts in opposite direction from movement. Now, if you are moving in this direction, so friction force will be the opposite direction. And if you are going backwards, then the friction force will be again in the opposite direction. This is what you have to remember. This force will be always opposing the motion of one object over another, or maybe it is in contact, that is called friction. You can see over here, this is a box. Okay, you see this box? This is a box. Now it is moving in this direction, forward direction. So where will the friction? It will be in the opposite direction. This is the friction. This is what you have to remember in this chapter. Did you understand better? Did you understand? Boys, did you understand better? Hello? Hello? Hello, boys. Am I audible? Can you hear me? Chami ma'am, can they hear me? Hello? 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 Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Please answer then, beta.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you're not answering, so I have to go back. Can you see this screen? Can you see the screen?
No, ma'am.
You can't see the screen.
No, ma'am.
Now, now can you see the screen? Boys, can you see the screen? Hello? Can you see the
Yes, sir.
screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, read this better. Please read it fast. Start reading better. If you can see the screen, start reading. Boys, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Start reading.
Force that oppose the friction. Force that oppose the motion of an object when the object in is, is in contact with another object or surface.
Then, this is the
Force
second point.
Force that slow down or stop motion.
Okay. So you understood what is friction force doing? Now this is one thing that it opposes the motion. That is the friction force. Second, it slows down or stops motion. For example, if this is a ball, right? I allow it to move it with the help of hand, it will go like this. What do you say? The ball will move to the forward direction. Yes? Then it comes to a stop. Then it stops over here. Why? Due to friction force. You understand?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
there is a force which is in the opposite direction. So here this is confirmed. Then it comes to a stop. This also confirms. So what frictional force is doing? It does not allow the object to move further because it is in the opposite direction. So it stops or it slows down the speed of that particular object. This much have you understood better? What frictional
Yes,
force is
ma'am.
doing? Now
Yes, ma'am.
we'll see how friction affects motion. This is all actually I have taken one topic and has given 2 or 3 slides regarding one topic, so that it becomes quite easy for you because we are repeating it again and again. So things will become very easy for you to understand. Okay, start reading, beta. Yes, beta, start reading. As soon as I finish with the explanation, you have to start reading.
Ma'am, can I read?
Sure, beta.
Am I reading? But my mic was off. I don't know.
Any of you can do that. Don't worry. If one is reading this slide, the other one can take on the another slide. Don't worry, all of you will get chance.
How
But
friction
be punctual. Yes. How friction?
how friction affects motion. If you roll a ball along the floor or ground, it will slow down or stop even though no apparent force is being applied to it. The ball slow down and stop because of friction. Friction friction slow down a moving object. Friction occurs when two objects rub against each other.
Can you explain? Can any of you explain? What did we do earlier? The same thing I told you about rolling the ball, isn't it? Hello? So we are rolling a ball along the floor or the ground. After some time, it starts slowing down and then eventually it stops because we are not applying any force to the ball. Why does the ball slow down? Why does it stop? It is due to friction. Okay, what friction is doing? Friction is slowing down an object. What it does? It is slowing down an object. You rub your hand, excuse me. You rub your hand. What is the friction? That is rubbing of your hand. Your two hands are moving against each other, right? What do you get? What do you feel? Please give me an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
What happens when you rub your hand?
We feel hot on our hand.
Exactly. So what is released? Heat is produced. So due to friction, heat is produced. That we will come to know later. Uh, Maybe in the middle of the chapter, we will use this activity. Okay. So when there's a friction, it is opposing, no doubt about it. But even the heat is released. What is released, better? Heat is released. Okay. when two objects are rubbing each other. Okay. Now read another activity. Let's see what happens. Please read it.
Cars that run on a very rough road slow down due to friction. However, on a smooth road, it travels fast.
You agree with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A car moving on a highway. So highway has got a beautiful road. Yes. So there are no speed breakers. And there are no potholes. It's even concrete road. So car runs very fast. What about a rough road? If it is a muddy road, if it is a kacha road, it has got lots of potholes. It's got uneven road. Do you think a car can move fast? No, it cannot. So on a rough road, your speed is not much. The car speed is not much. Why? Because due to friction. So on a rough road, friction is more. On a smooth road, friction is less. And that's the reason when on a tiled floor, if it is polished very nicely, sometimes you may fall because the friction is very less. In the school also, you could slide down. Remember? At times you fall, you slip. Why? Because the floors are polished. The floors are very smooth. So friction is less and we may slip. You understand now? That's the reason you people have got those grooves on your shoes to increase the friction so that you don't fall. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's go to another activity. Please read.
A smooth surface has a very few bumps and hollows.
Hollows.
There is less friction on a smooth surface. A running object can gild or move
Right.
guide or move continuously with a very little force.
Now, if I talk about smooth surface, for example, this is smooth surface, okay? So it has only small bumps. And if it is there, it will be very little. These are bumps, okay? And maybe hollows. These are hollows, very less. So what happens? Friction is less. Any object which is moving, so you give little force, it can move to this much of distance with little force. Now, if the same thing I make it with big bumps and big hollows, again big bumps, you're getting it now? Big hollows. What happens? Friction is more. So, if any object which is moving will be having these obstacles as bumps, so its speed will decrease because friction is more. Any problem? Any problem with it?
No, ma'am.
All of you understood better
Yes, ma'am.
why friction is more and why friction is less and what is happening? Yes, start. If anyone else wants to read, can read better. Someone else wanted to read in between? Who is that boy who wanted to read better?
Ma'am, I want to read Nurani Moinuddin.
Okay, Nurani Mondinin. Better, is it okay if Nurani takes on the charge? Who was reading earlier?
Ma'am, I, Sheikh Harsh.
Harsh. Okay, better. So, Harsh, if you don't mind, can Moinuddin start reading?
Ah, okay, ma'am. I have no problem.
Okay, thank you, better. Yes, Moinuddin.
Smooth surface produces less friction and allows shoes and tries to slip.
Continue.
On a rough surface, there are more bumps and hollows. When you push the cart on a rough road, it will travel slowly. There's more friction acting on the moving cart. The rougher the surface, the more friction there is, thus the slower an object moves.
Okay. Now, what we saw The smooth surface with less hollows and bumps will have less friction. So what happens? The shoes that you wear, yes, and the tires of your vehicle, what happens? It slips because you don't have a grip. So you cannot walk properly and you may slip. Whereas on a rough surface, as we have more bumps and hollows, that means you're pushing a bullock cart on a rough road, it does not move fast. Have you ever seen a bullock cart or a horse cart or a camel cart moving very fast? Have you ever seen that? Like a car? Is it moving like a car? Hello? Does bullock
Yes.
cart moves like a car?
No, ma'am.
Why? Because of this reason. Because bullock cart usually move on a rough surface and a car moves on a smooth surface. There's a reason. So when a cart is moving, bullock cart is moving on the rough road, the friction is more and it is in the opposite direction, you know that. That's why the speed is less, the force is less. So more the surface is rough, the more will be friction. So that's how you have to remember. Rough surface, more friction, smooth surface, less friction. Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So the same thing I'm repeating in so many slides. You observe that?
Yes, ma'am.
Read better.
Friction is lesser on a smooth, shiny surface. Friction is greater on a rough surface.
Now is it clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
So I need not explain this because we have already done it. Yes, please read.
Force of friction is the force which opposes the motion of an object over a surface. The force of friction acts between the object and the surface. For example, a ball rolling on ground gradually slows down and comes to rest due to force of friction between the ball and the ground. If we stop pedaling a bicycle, it gradually slows down and comes to a stop due to force of friction between the wheel and the road.
What extra did you get in this slide? Can you explain? Most of the things we have already done, isn't it? Is it something new in this slide that you can explain? Boys,
Yes, ma'am, of bicycle.
exactly. Thanks a lot, Beta. Sheikh Arsh, I think. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, I'm happy. So what new we got in this slide? It was bicycle because the ball we had already taken from the beginning as an example, isn't it, Beta? So we know about the ball,
Yes.
but something new what was added in this slide was pedaling a bicycle. Now you're pedaling a bicycle, the bicycle is moving forward. It is increasing the speed. You stop pedaling the bicycle. What happens? Your bicycle will move, but it will slow down the speed of the bicycle. Why? Because due to force of friction, which is stopping the bicycle. Where is the force of friction? It is between the wheel, that is the bicycle, right, and the road. This is the road. So it is the friction between the wheel and the road, which is not allowing the bicycle to move forward due to force of friction.
Yes,
So all
ma'am.
of you have understood? All of you have understood now?
Ma'am, if a bicycle air is full on our both tires, it will not stop fastly.
No, it depends. It's all depends upon the way you're
No,
pedaling the
I am.
bicycle.
I tried.
Okay. No, if you're pedaling the bicycle with a force, it will stop. No, no doubt about it after you stop pedaling. But maybe it will take some time. If you are pedaling the bicycle at a usual rate and then stop, it will stop the bicycle after some time. But if you're pedaling it very fast, then it will take some more time to stop the bicycle. But it will stop. There's no doubt about it.
Okay.
You want to tell me that the bicycle did not stop? It will not do it
I'm
at that
stop,
particular time.
but not fastly.
Yes,
If
but it will stop. That's what I'm saying. Because where we will get the force, force has to be there for the force of friction to act. If the body is at rest already, there is no force. So where will be the force of friction then? The body has to move. Then only force of friction is applied. Do you understand now, Beta? Your
yes, ma'am.
cycle has to move.
Yes, ma'am.
Cycle, you have to ride the bicycle. Then only the force of friction will be applied. Otherwise, it will not be applied. If your bicycle is at rest, there is no force of friction because there is no force. The body is not in motion. The body has to be in motion for the force of friction. You understand? Oh. Hello, have you understood?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
You try it today. You will see. What you can see over here?
Ball.
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 So, if I ask you, please explain this picture, what you will say, better? Please explain this picture. So, I magnified it. Can you explain what you can see?
Here is a ball.
A ball is at rest. What is the ground? What sort of ground can you see?
Grassy ground.
Grassy ground. The ball which was rolling was on a smooth surface that is ground.
Yes.
If I take the example of grassy ground, will be the force of friction will be same on simple ground and the grassy ground? How can you explain?
No, I can't explain. I don't have also about it knowledge.
Okay. Anyone else? Can anyone else explain? If this is the ball and this is the ground. This is the ball. This is the grassy ground. Can you see the difference?
Yes, ma'am.
What happens on the smooth ground? The ball keep on rolling. Yes, because of less friction. Yes or no? Whereas on the grassy
Yes,
ground,
ma'am.
the friction is more. So it will come to a stop very fast. You understand now?
Yes, ma'am.
This is what I wanted you to tell me. Okay. All of you understood this activity?
Yes, ma'am.
Now see this. What can you see? What can you see? Simple activity. This is an object. Okay? This one is an object. You are pushing. So you're applying a force. So where's the motion? On the forward direction. Yes? Now we know that friction is applied on the opposite direction. So this is friction. Did you understand this picture?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is what you are. So you're pedaling the cycle. Can you see it over here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The cycle. See. So the cycle is moving where? The cycle is moving in this direction. Okay? It
Yes,
is moving
ma'am.
in forward direction. Where's the frictional force? Opposite direction.
Opposite direction.
And if you don't pedal, your cycle will come to stop after some time.
Yes,
Got
miss.
it? You try it today, you will understand. Yes, better start reading.
Factors affecting friction. Friction depends upon two factors. They are number one, nature of the surface in contact, the smoothness of the surface. Number two, how hard the surface pressed together. Friction is less on a smooth surface.
So, on what factors is friction depending on? First is nature. What I taught you? Smooth ground and grassy ground. You got it? Hello. Just now,
Yes, ma'am.
what we studied
Yes,
just now? Smooth ground and
smooth ground
grassy
and
ground.
rough ground.
So that is the nature of the surface. So you understood that activity, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Second is how hard the surface is pressed together. That means the ball in contact with the smooth ground and the ball in contact with the rough ground. Yes? So what we found? Friction is less on a smooth surface. Yes or no? No. And that's why the ball moves ahead. It takes more time to stop, isn't it? And look over here. This is inclined plane. The ball is rolling and it comes to a stop here. If I make still more inclined plane, the ball will come to rest over here. So more inclined plane you make, the ball will roll further. Yes, the angle of the inclination is very, very important. Now, if I roll a ball, can you hear me? Boys, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
If I roll a ball from here, what will happen? It will come to halt here. But here it is an inclined plane, it is making angle, it will take further distance to travel because it is getting the force, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
It's
Yes.
sliding, so it takes more force. So it will take more distance to travel. You understood better?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
You will see over here, that was a smooth surface. So what happens here? It is more, friction is more on a rough surface. Now this is rough surface. This is rough surface. That was smooth
yes,
surface. So what happened? On smooth surface, it traveled till here. But on rough surface, it will travel till less distance. You understand now? Why?
yes,
Because
ma'am.
friction is more.
Yes. Oh, lecture is over.
This is over. Okay. Fine. So continue later then. This much
Yes,
all of
ma'am.
you understood? No, I've
Yes,
I've tried my best to make you understand these simple things. Now, have you understood nicely?
yes, ma'am.
Do you have any doubt or any problem?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you,
No,
beta.
ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, beta. Have a good day then. Enjoy.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, beta.